Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of The Left Wing. I am TJ Whitehead, powers taken, not given, joined as always by John Cooper Paz of Counterpoint Politics, an ungrateful man, a man who rises and sleeps under the very blanket of freedom that Pete Hegseth provides and then questions the manner in which he provides it. John, what gives you the right to question a great military hero like Pete Hegseth?
DJ, we are like very, very, very close from a very shitty version of that speech being made in real life in the Oval Office. Like that is basically the defense that they are going with. Am I wrong? Well, first of all, welcome back, everyone. It's been a while,
Hey,
but to just jump in, we'll just jump right into this, TJ, and then we'll do our hellos later because this has been irking me. Like we were gone for like 2 weeks, and this entire story, more so than any other going on right now, has been driving me up a wall. Because on one hand, we have the argument of, hey, that's a war crime. You shouldn't do that. And on the other hand, we have, yeah, we did exactly that, and we should have. Like, it's utterly insane. The actual Republican argument right now is war crimes are okay.
Yeah, all right. I gotta be careful how I say this. I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying something that I'm not. But something that I used to mention years and years ago when talking about war crimes or talking about the limitations that we put on ourselves in combat, if I don't want to say a luxury, that's the wrong word, but that's a framework that you have in mind when you are a superpower or when you are safe and secure. And I always think about it, like, if you were fighting someone, an element, an enemy, nation, or whatever, a group, and you genuinely believe, like you believe with your heart of hearts, that if you lose this battle, you lose this war, everything and everyone you know will die. They will suffer. They will be tortured, executed. There ain't nothing that's stopping you from committing a war crime. Nothing. Like, that's just how humans are. Like, you're lying if you say otherwise. And like, so that I understand like that part. Like Nat Turner, for example. I would never judge Nat Turner for a second for the fact that he killed civilians. Not gonna happen. I'm not, or civilians, whatever. But he didn't just kill like the slave owners. He killed like the women and the kids too. I mean, he was born and raised as property. He had nothing to lose. I got that part. So, but with us in this situation, that doesn't apply, right? Like, it doesn't. And then so I have a clip here from Megyn Kelly. I don't know if you saw this, John, but Megyn Kelly talking about the extrajudicial killing, that you want to call them that or whatever. But here we go. Have you seen this, John?
Trump and Hegseth.
Not sure.
Okay, this is her talking about people complaining about the fact that Donald Trump or Pete Hegseth have overseen these killings in the Caribbean, and here's her thoughts on it.
So I really do kind of not only want to see them killed in the water, whether they're on the boat or in the water, but I'd really like to see them suffer. I would like Trump and Hegseth to make it last a long time so that they lose a limb and bleed out a little. Like, I'm really having a difficult time ginning up sympathy for these guys who 10 seconds earlier almost got taken out by the initial bomb, but because they managed to get ejected, a little too soon, had to be taken out in the water. I realize legally it may make a difference, but truly, Mark, this is a tough case to really gin up the sympathies of the American.
Wild thing for Megyn Kelly to add at the very end there. I realize there may be legal implications. Like, she's a lawyer, that she went, like, that's her profession, and they're saying, who cares? But like, performative cruelty keeps getting higher and higher on the right wing. That's all they got left. So I'm not shocked to see them respond this way, but this is just who they are, John.
Well, so you make a great point there where you're like, hey, if you actually believe everyone your way of life is in danger, you'll go ahead and commit war crimes in order to defend against
Absolutely.
it. And I get that. I get that reasoning. Here's the thing, though. A, that's not by any stretch of the imagination what's happening here. And B, like no one, even if you're going to say, there is a legitimate threat these boats pose to our country, which is an incredibly debatable fact. But let's even grant you that. There's no one who's under the illusion. We could let infinite drug boats come. and we wouldn't impact our lives very much. No, we would not lose our way of life. So first of all, that is not the case. We're not even anywhere close to that. No one actually believes that, except for, I believe, Kristi Noem said that the actions taken in the Caribbean have saved hundreds of millions of American lives, meaning that if Donald Trump hadn't have killed these fucking 20 boats, we would have lost at least 2/3 of the American population. That, I mean, and it's just insane. It's insane on every level. But even granted, let's assume it's all true. It's still not viable to commit war crimes most of the time, because war crimes don't usually actually help a war effort. Like we saw from many studies done during World War II, that the bombing of Dresden had the exact opposite military impact that they thought it would. They thought it would demoralize the German population, but really it just became propaganda to strengthen the war effort. And for some reason, we get this when we're on the victim side. When we have the Twin Towers knocked down, we all come together. We all look at that and like, oh, it's a moment of American strength and unity. And that's exactly what happens when we commit war crimes like this. It unites our enemies against us. For what benefit? There's no benefit to killing these guys on the boat. It would be incredibly more beneficial to capture them and interrogate them and utilize them, maybe in some sort of whatever, in some sort of negotiation. If this was an actual war we were actually fighting, that would be the most beneficial way to protect Americans. But no, that's not what it's about. It's about the cruelty. Megyn Kelly is 100% correct here. All it's about is seeing these people suffer. That's what they want. They don't want to stop drugs. They don't even want to enforce the law, or else they wouldn't be pardoning a convicted drug kingpin who smuggled 400 tons of cocaine in this country. It's just about making people suffer. That's it. That's the bottom line. That is why they're doing this.
Yeah, this is the thing about making people suffer. Something that we've talked about ever since the infancy of the Trump movement. Not together, John and I know each other back then, but privately, I'm sure we both said it, is that this is all about, I've never seen a political movement that's entirely based on spite. Because it is. The Trump coalition is a weak confederation of people of, like red pillars and flat earthers and Christian nationalists and libertarian, like people who really like ideologically aren't super in lockstep, but they all have this like rage and this these grievances and this under, like they feel like they've been downtrodden. And when you're in pain, you want to hurt somebody else. Look at all of the merchandise and stuff from Trump. It's, fuck your feelings, cry more, lib. That's it. Like it's not necessarily about accomplishing anything. And this is being laid more and more out in the open, like with Megyn Kelly, like that. But it's also showing itself in the discussions in other places. I just saw the interview with Nick Fuentes on what's his name, Piers Morgan's show. Piers Morgan was doing something that people on TV or liberals and some lefties, they'll do, say, aha, I'm going to trap this person by embarrassing them into saying something disgusting about themselves. And it's like, oh, so would you call yourself a racist? Yeah. I do you like it? Yeah, I do. It doesn't embarrass them anymore. That's not going to work. And it's kind of unfortunate that people relied on that for so long, that, oh, I'm going to trick these people into outing themselves. They've already out themselves. These people on a weekly basis talk about the fact that they don't think women should vote. All right. So yeah, John, you're right. With the destruction of the ships and everything, that I can't remember where it was, but you said before, I got a chance to look it up. But I saw someone post, it was probably Kristi Noem. She said that destroying this amount of cocaine or whatever stopped 90 million lethal doses of cocaine in there. And I was like, really? Why do they keep doing this? This is just it just kind of makes them sound kind of silly.
Well, I mean, God forbid they sound kind of silly.
It's just, like, who is it for? Like, who's it for? This isn't, I mean, is that really working on people? It's like, oh man, we saved 90 million lives, but nobody thinks that. Like we've imported like an infinite amount of cocaine over the last 40 years, and we're all still here. So I know people don't actually believe this boat would have killed off the entire eastern seaboard,
So I'm going to get to that. I want to jump to a couple of these comments because this is the Q&A show, guys. So if you guys have any questions for us, make sure to let us know in the comments. By the way, KM1-6, he said, "Hi guys, want to let you know this format makes it hard to listen. I cannot turn off my screen or project it onto the TV. It has to be on my phone with the screen on. You are in luck, KM1-6, because this new format is optional. You can go to our channel and there is both a horizontal format and a vertical format for you to choose from. So you can go ahead and choose whichever you want. Also, we have Colby here saying, "Always Sunny is such a fun show. Makes you wish Philadelphia was real. Anyways, how was Florida, John?" Colby, Florida sucks. I hate it. It's the worst state in the union. I haven't traveled to them all, but that one is particularly fucking awful. And I don't recommend it to anyone. I don't understand why so many people retire there.
Where did you go in Florida?
All around, because my wife has family kind of across the state, not like the Panhandle or anything, but Fort Lauderdale area to Saratoga area is basically where we travel to and from.
Huh. I like Florida. I guess I've only been a couple places. My brother lives in Orlando, and I love it there. And I had a friend who lived in what was it? I can't remember, Tampa, I think. But I don't know. What didn't you like about it? What did you like about it?
Oh, I got a whole list of things. One, the weather's fucking atrocious. It is always humid and sticky and hot and what the fuck. Because like if you compare it to like California can also get hot, but it's a dry heat. You can compare it to Memphis, it's a dry heat. Like I've lived in different areas, and this heat is just buckets of water in the air, enveloping you in a blanket and microwaving at the same time. Got mosquitoes up to your ass. Everything is flat, just flat and artificial for as far as the eye can see. It's just a man-made flat blanket over a swamp. And that is what Florida is. None of the trees or wildlife are natural. They're all imported. It just looks like shit. There's no tall buildings. They're all fucking flat. Everything looks the same. It's miserable. It's a disgusting place. I really hate to see it. It cannot wait till it's underwater.
An affront to the eyes of God. It's a symbol of man's hubris, the entire state of Florida, according to John. That's awesome.
TJ, it really is. Like if you like notice, like nothing is real. Nothing is real there. It is all man-made. We were not meant to live there.
All right. Well, hey, man, you're in Florida. Then again, you were different parts than I was in, so I don't know. I don't know who this commenter is, but I gotta give them props for these comments here. Zane BF6P or whatever writes, "Hey, TJ Whitehead, beef." I don't know. I love that. I think it's great. I don't know who this is. I don't know what their beef is with me, but I'm not going to be leaving. I'm sticking around the show for 45 more minutes. But yeah. And John, I had did I pull the clip up already? Yeah. This is so. Yeah. So John mentioned a pardon that Trump did for Honduran president. Now, I don't know. I didn't know about this story till it happened. I haven't been following this case closer or anything like that. But there was a guy who was formerly president of Honduras who was sentenced to like 1 million years in jail or something for trafficking. I think it was 400. Listen to the clip. But anyway, Trump pardoned this guy. This guy was convicted. And Trump says, actually, no, I'm going to let him loose. And wait till you hear his explanation for it.
You pardoned former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez and let him out of prison, even though he was convicted in a massive international drug trafficking scheme. How is that zero tolerance on drug trafficking?
Well, I don't know him, and I know very little about him, other than people said it was like a Obama-Biden type setup where he was set up. He was the president of the country. The country deals in drugs like probably you could say that about every country. And because he was the president, they gave him like 45 years in prison. And there are many people fighting for Honduras, very good people that I know, and they think he was treated horribly, and they asked me to do it, and I said, I'll do it.
Do you think that could send the wrong message to
No,
drug
I don't
dealers?
think so. Look, I think, when you weaponize government, they've weaponized their government just like they did over here. I'm one of the people that survived, but they weaponized the government. We had the most weaponized government. Our election was rigged. They went after me. I was impeached twice. I was indicted. They indicted me. I came out good. Here we are in the White House. Things are looking nice, but they were vicious, and they are vicious. They're sick people.
All right, John, had you seen that clip? And are you buying Trump's explanation there?
I have, and I mean, I believe every word he said, TJ. I believe
I do too.
He had no idea who this fucking guy was. He had no idea what the case was that he was pardoning, and people just told him, "Hey, this is another Republican conservative head of state who Biden and Obama, you weaponized the DOJ against. It's the only reason he's in jail. And he went, oh, sounds good. Let's pardon that guy. That sounds like he got screwed over, just like me. Like, yeah, it is just like you, Donald. That was such an astute observation that you connected those two dots. Wow, you really are smart, Donald. And then he pardoned him. And that is like that's what happened. Like, and the thing, TJ, that upsets me, I mean, who gives a shit about it? He's admitting that he doesn't know anything about the guy he pardoned. And no one gives a shit, TJ. No one gives a shit. He doesn't even know the guy.
See, so this is what's made making political content this last year nearly impossible for me. It's a Herculean effort to talk in front of the camera now, because what is the goddamn point? Why? Like, really? Why? I'm here. I remember, like, I would get exasperated in the past where I'm talking to people who, like you mentioned, have insane thoughts. Like, women shouldn't vote anymore. Maybe we should, have a white no state and everything. I'm here trying to discuss the particular measures of, quantitative easing or something, or discussing like top marginal tax rates. Why am I doing this? These people don't know what year it is. And now it's even worse. Like, believe it or not, it's even worse. People not only are there people who have terrible views. I deal with that. Like, I can actually get by with that. But then you have like a major subset of the population that doesn't really have any principles. Like, the thing with the drugs, like, they'll say, yes, we need to execute people in the middle of the ocean, no proof that they're doing anything illegal, certainly nothing worthy of like a wartime attack. Don't even bother. But the suspicion I have, because someone told me that guy had drugs, I'm fine with incinerating them in the middle of the ocean. No problem with that at all. And then, okay, well, Trump just pardoned a guy who brought in more drugs than these guys could do in a dozen lifetimes. And he let him go without any reason. Like John said, he's telling you, I let him go because someone said it was a witch hunt, and I don't like Biden, so I'm doing it. They're not going to care at all. We're going to forget about this in a month. No one's going to give a shit. So why bother? I don't know. It gets really hard to talk about it when you have these folks. As long as Trump is around, that's not going to change, which I don't know. We haven't talked about it, but I have been saying this ever since, honestly, this time last year when he got elected. I don't think anything's going to take him down. I don't think any of this war crime stuff is going to go anywhere. We both know that. I don't think the Epstein stuff is going to go anywhere. He's just going to keep doing this, and there's going to be a giant portion of people like, this is great. This is fine. We fully support him. Knows what he's doing.
So, TJ, I agree. Like, I right now am probably at the lowest point I've ever been as a content creator. Like, I don't think I made a TikTok in a month. And I have some written. And I'm like, oh, I'm interested in these. And then by the time I write them and I go to record, I'm like, who gives a shit? No one cares. Like, how do I do my best effort when, like, he's just sitting there admitting it? He's just sitting there, yeah, no, someone told me to pardon the guy. I didn't even look into what he did. And I pardoned him. And that's it. And it's just like, what is the argument anymore, guys? What is it? Should I sit here? I'm not interested anymore in it, to be honest, TJ. I'm just like kind of waiting for it all to crash. Like, it just seems to me like you're right. There's none of this is going to get them until it all crashes. Like, it feels like there needs to be a massive fucking failure, which, by the way, we're careening towards. And once again, he's hiding employment data for the month of October. And I bet you we're not going to get it in November. And it's just going to keep getting worse until something really bad happens. And hopefully 8% of the population changes their mind about him enough to get him out of fucking office in 2028. Like, that's it. Like, that's all we have to hope for. And we can sit here and we can speculate about what we can do once we get rid of him and try to move on and rebuild better. And like, yeah, like, that's interesting to talk about and think about and theorize about and have hope for. But like, Jesus Christ, what am I supposed to do in the meantime? It feels like nothing matters.
You're right. Like, you're right. Like, this is what makes, they look, I am at a pretty low point too. There is hope on the horizon. Trump is 1,000,000 years old. He can't run again. Like we said, like, people keep, like, we've talked about this, I think, John, that even if he does run again, he's not going to be on the ballots in enough states to actually win. It's just not him running in 2028 isn't really isn't really something I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about something a lot deeper. And that's so in 2008, during the financial crisis under George W. Bush, everything collapsed. Everything, we had, the Iraq War, our economy was in the shitter. We had a housing crisis, a banking crisis. That was the lowest point I had seen the nation in. I had never seen anything that bad. And they said, okay, here's someone who might be able to help us out a bit. We're gonna abandon George W. Bush. He was wrong. This Obama guy, maybe he's got some good ideas. And John and I have plenty of complaints about Barack Obama, but he was an infinitely better president than George W. Bush. I don't think anyone argues that. But no one learned anything, right? And that's what I think is going to happen with Trump, is that people are going to say, oh, this Trump guy was a con artist, like they said the whole time. And turns out he was wrong. But Marco Rubio guy, he's got some great ideas. Maybe he will be the one to help us out. Like these when everything collapses, all the Republicans will still be Republicans. That the only thing that helps us out is that Trump brought in a different type of voter, someone who wasn't really into politics. And so, your Ted Cruz's and Rubio's, they're not going to be able to get those guys. That's good. That's good in our favor. But I'm probably going to live, if I'm lucky, another 40 years or so. I don't think I'm ever going to recover the confidence I had in the American people to make sound, rational decisions. It makes it kind of precarious. And yes, John, it does feel like everything's collapsing. Like look at the economy with the numbers, like housing market, like insect populations. I was reading an article today about how it's John. Like, so when you were little, do you remember going outside and seeing fireflies all over the place? And
oh yeah.
Bug was smeared with your windshield was smeared with bugs after road trips. That doesn't happen anymore. And I was like, I have noticed this, and it's not my imagination. John, staggering numbers of insect deaths around the world. Like insect populations have dropped like 40% in the last 20 years, and they keep falling. And some insects are higher than others, but it's like, oh, that makes sense. I know this is about birds too. I haven't said it out loud. It's like a crazy person, but birds used to always come to like my balcony when I feed them. They don't come there anymore. It's like, I think the world is just slowly falling apart, and I don't see a lot of hope on the horizon. Well, I do, except I think, like you mentioned, John, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Yeah, and I don't know what worse looks like. I kind of get the tankies more, TJ. Like genuinely and honestly, it feels like there's nothing that can be reasoned. People just must be manipulated or forced to go in a certain direction because what you're right. These people are still going to be Republicans after this. And we can sit here and be like, oh, yeah, but look at the non-Trump elections and all of these people that Trump gets to turn out don't turn out for the Republicans. It's like, yeah, no, probably. Yeah, we'll probably go back to a, maybe even a Dem trifecta. And if we get another, we're just right back where we were because the fundamental root cause of the problem is that people just don't give a shit anymore. Like they genuinely do not give a single flying fuck about anything that's going on. And it's very frustrating. All they see, and TJ, this is the thing that Donald Trump understands that seemingly no one else in America understands. And I'm talking Democrats, Republicans, everyone. Donald Trump understands that politics is professional wrestling. It is a realization that I had during the election cycle, and it is something that has just proven itself more and more and more true because it doesn't matter if the punch is actually landing as long as you believe it does. Even if you know that it didn't land, you can still get the same feeling as if it did, and that feeling is all that matters. The people who watch professional wrestling are fully aware that it's bullshit and still choose to watch it and enjoy it anyway because it makes them feel good. They're invested in the storyline. They feel like the good guy's beating the shit out of the bad guy, and that makes it real to them. And that might sound crazy, but you know what? It's been around throughout human history. We've had some version of professional wrestling. We have it now. We've had it forever. And that's what Donald Trump gets. Everyone knows that 200 million Americans wouldn't have been killed if we didn't fucking commit war crimes to destroy these boats. Every Republican understands that, with the exception of a few really, really dumb ones. Most of them get it. And yet they hear it and they're like, point good guy. That's all that matters. They don't care if it's a war crime. They don't care if innocent people are getting hurt and killed. They don't care about any of it. They just care that their face is winning the match. and he'll triumph against the bad guys, and that'll make them feel good. And Trump gets that. Trump gets it better than most other people have. It's very frustrating that he's the only one, TJ. It's really frustrating. He's the only one that gets it.
John likes to say this statement that's really great, where he talks about the fact that people on the left will often criticize people on the right for being inconsistent in their ideology. Kind of like, what was mentioned earlier with the drugs, that, hey, you guys think that bringing drugs to the nation is a crime punishable by death, but Donald Trump doesn't even think he should be locked up for it. Is that inconsistent? No, it's not, actually. It's not, because whatever benefits my in-group is good, and whatever hurts my in-group is bad. That's the only, and that is great for winning in politics. It's actually really great. If you can leave shame at the door, if you can just say anything you want and don't care about the repercussions, don't care if you contradict yourself, that can take you pretty far. It can take you pretty far with elections and election cycles and stuff. I'm not sure how effective it is at getting anything done, which you don't care about, I guess. You just care about being in power and not being punished or whatever. And the professional wrestling thing, yeah, it's great that Trump was actually involved with professional wrestling in the past. Makes sense. He's a hell of an entertainer. Donald Trump is one of the greatest entertainers I've ever seen. He was born to do it. And yeah, the fact that people can't figure that out is kind of crazy, but it does strike into the human psyche a lot. I remember reading this thing about Neanderthals years ago, and I can't remember how they came up with this theory, but something about the way that Neanderthals' brains were shaped was slightly different than ours. And I think it was the part of the brain that we process storytelling is probably a little bit smaller in them, if I remember correctly from the paper. And the human brains, we have, like John mentioned, professional wrestling. People know it's fake and they still love it. Yeah, that's how we are. We, like, you watch a movie or play a game or a TV show, these people aren't real. These are actors pretending to do something, but the human brain is capable. Like, the pain you feel when a character you like dies, it's the same as if someone dies. Like, your brain doesn't tell the difference. And so Trump has hacked that. And he's made, like, when Pete Hegseth was accused of war crime, what did he do? He posted memes. He just posted memes because it's all a joke and it's all a game anyway. And it's hard to win in a war when your goals are not only not misaligned with your opposition, but if your opposition doesn't care about winning anything, it's like it's playing chess with a pigeon. Like, that's what we're doing. And I hate y'all doom and gloom. We got to find some comments, because I feel like all doom and gloom talking about this, because it is really a downer, man.
No, I mean, it's a downer day. And usually, like, when we take a break, we're excited to come back.
Yeah, we're jazzed.
It's just, we left. And honestly, I felt like we were pretty energized, at least with the show. This show is really the only thing I care about anymore. Like, I enjoy talking to you and venting, and it's good. But, like, I don't give a shit about the content that I'm making. I'm basically just doing it as a form of muscle memory and release at this point, because I don't have any more visions that I am contributing to some sort of greater future. Like, that has been completely and utterly shattered. And I know that that's doomerism, and I know that it isn't a good way to think, but I really struggle. I really, really struggle to envision any world in which anything we do matters. Like, we kind of are living in a world where it's a great man theory of history right now. Trump is the great man who's ruling everything, and if we don't get a great man of our own to lead the masses in the right direction, nothing else fucking matters.
The true irony about this last election is that for the first time in decades, like since I first heard about conservatives complaining about the tyranny of the majority, you can't let your democracy is bad, you can't give people what they want. They may have been right. I hate to admit it, but they may have been right. That actually trusting people to choose their own path. I mean, I obviously knew the risk, but I had more confidence in people than that. But yes, the thing with the social, of course, this is just me and John talking about something no one else cares about. It's just me kind of like, oh, it's not fun doing social media anymore. Like, it's but it's true, because for my content, I can't speak for John, but a lot of times my content in the past, I would get strikes. I get content strikes. I get warnings. Hey, we're going to block your channel. We're going to whatever. So whenever that would happen, I would shift my content, and I would start making I would just start making like funny history videos or funny science videos, stuff like that. And those videos always did better than my political ones. It's kind of insulting in a lot of ways, but those videos always did better. I get a lot of followers. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I got these followers, but I'm going to drop the communism on them once this streak is up. And of course, I lose my follower, but it was kind of fun. But today, I have like all these videos lined up, and it's like I just can't have. I don't have the heart to do it. It's like I might just start changing my content. Why not just make it? Why not just be fun? Why not just make it fun, or just be evil? One or the other. I'm not going to be evil. I can't do that, but it is hard to justify it, John. I do agree with you. I have there's on Thursday. Did you see the video of Elon Musk's robot when it collapsed at that event?
I did not. Hold up. I have to address this one comment from Colby.
Sure.
He says Superman wants us supposed to continue. Colby, that honestly touched my heart.
yeah, I know. Was that
what would Clark do, TJ?
I realized the names now. They're like the usernames, like at Colbris. Is that Colby? Yeah, it was always just Colby before, but now my computer says that Colbris. Weird.
Yeah,
but,
no, I think like when they're vertical, it's a different thing. I don't know, but that's Colby.
Oh, okay. all right. So, someone wrote here. Comment we just got in off the press. Elk Slayer 208 says you're both gay, and that's funny because the first comment we got was my favorite. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Yaoi couple return. I'm pretty sure that's like a gay thing in like a Japanese anime. I think
that's gotta be an anime term.
Yeah, so it's funny that
how is it spelled? YAOI?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that if John can pull up what that means exactly, but Huge Ass wrote, "Do you like mushrooms?" What kind of question is that, Hugh? Of course, I love mushrooms. Like what? This is kind of my whole thing. What is it, John?
I don't know. It seems like a gay couple. Like
okay,
that's basically just a gay couple. I'm pretty
okay.
Sure.
That's what I thought. All right. So this clip here is from Jesus. I'm not sure. I think it was last week, maybe the week before, but it is Elon Musk on the Joe Rogan show. And by the way, I want to add that it wasn't that long ago, just a few months, that Elon Musk left the White House, like he left Doge, and then publicly stated Donald Trump is in Epstein files. That's why he's not releasing them. And now he's perfectly fine with Trump. Like, okay, how? Again, nothing matters. Like he's a pedophile, and you're still working with him, or he's not a pedophile to your knowledge, and you were comfortable lying about that. I don't know. Yeah, this is fine. But anyway, this is Elon Musk and Joe Rogan show. John, this is him talking about being at a party and using Grok, and it's one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
If you want to have a good time or like make people really laugh at a party, you can use Grok and you can say, do a vulgar roast of someone. And Grok is it's gonna be an epic vulgar roast. You can even say, like, take a picture of like make a vulgar roast of this person based on their appearance of people at the party.
So take a photo of them.
Yeah, just literally point the camera at them and now do a vulgar roast of this person. And then but they keep saying, no, make it even more vulgar. Use forbidden words. Even more, and just keep repeating even more vulgar. Eventually it's like, holy fuck, it's like, I mean, it's trying to jam a rocket up your ass, like, and have it explode, and it's like it's like it's next level. It's
hold on, let me finish it.
It's gonna get
beyond
better.
Fucking belief.
That's what's crazy is that it keeps getting better. Like,
yeah.
All right. So had you seen that clip, John? Well, before I ask you, have you seen the clip? I just want to say that I am just baffled at Elon Musk's success. No, not necessarily his business success, but the fact that he's cultivated this millions of people who not only like him because they think he's some sort of rocket genius, whatever. I can understand that. I mean, they're wrong, but I get why people would like that. But they pretend he's cool. And I thought about this with how often he's on Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan is enamored with Elon Musk. Because Joe Rogan, he's a kind of a simple guy, so I can kind of see why he would be, all wide-eyed and like, oh my God, Elon Musk, the world's smartest man. I love this guy. But from what I could tell about Joe Rogan in the years that I've seen him and listened to whatever that, Joe Rogan always struck me among his friends, like normal life Joe Rogan before he was famous, he was always probably a cool guy. Like he was always kind of like, hey, he's the funny guy that cracks wise and has like interesting stuff to say or whatever. Joe Rogan was never a fucking nerd or a geek. That's what Elon Musk is. And I don't know how those alarm bells are going off crazy when you listen to him saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool to go to a party, pull out your phone, not talk to anybody, but just ask your phone to make fun of someone for you? Wouldn't that be cool? No, that's the gayest shit ever. Like what is happening here? I don't know, but have you seen that?
No, I had seen that, and you're 100% right. Joe Rogan, I feel like I would classify myself maybe as a Joe Rogan apologist in the sense that he's not that bad. Like, COVID cooked him. He's completely cooked in his politics, but like he gets more hate than he really deserves just because he's so big and influential that shit happens because he says it does. But like he does have a good, unlike Elon, like he has a solid work ethic. He has built a career out of nothing. If you hear, you know, he had to work really hard to get good at comedy and everything that he's done. And you'd think that he would just immediately recognize, oh, you're pulling out an app to roast people at a party. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, that is not funny. Anyone around you who thinks it's funny, you would obviously is just laughing because you're rich and they want something from you for the same exact reason I'm laughing right now. Like, there's no way he genuinely is laughing.
No
there.
chance.
And
No chance.
It's just sad to watch. Like that is the saddest thing. Like, genuinely, he's the richest man in the world. He's pulling out this app to help him roast people at a party. TJ, if he wasn't such a piece of shit, I'd feel bad for him. That genuinely makes me feel sad.
I don't know. It's just like you can be a fan, like you can be a fan of Elon Musk if you think for some unknown reason that he actually is going to have 1 million robot taxis on the road next year, or he's going to get us to Mars, or that he has these humanoid autonomous robots that they're not an obvious and insulting scam. Fine, you can think all that and everything. But God, why do you gotta pretend he's cool? That just blows my mind. And the character element of it is really important here. That an individual like Musk, you're gonna entrust him with the future of humanity, which they'll tell you to your face that that's basically what they're doing. Like, what kind of person you are does matter. Like, this is kind of important here. And Elon Musk is like, again, all the resources you could ever want, still deeply shallow and insecure and unliked by at least people he wants to like him. Like, Trump and Musk do have millions and millions of followers and fans and everything like that, but cool people don't usually like them, and that's what really sets them off. I always want to be, which is why he's so happy to have Joe Rogan on there. Oh, Joe Rogan's cool. Joe Rogan is interesting. If he likes me, other people will like me too. And yeah, Musk just doing this over and over again is just, it keeps working for him. I can't blame him. I guess I'm the stupid one, but it's just kind of insulting how often this happens.
I really hope, TJ, like Musk, unlike others, like Bezos, never ever going to get his comeuppance. Zuckerberg, never ever going to get his comeuppance. Like, they are going to live a life of the most obscene luxury we have ever seen. They're going to be adulated by billions. Their names will go down the history books, and nothing bad will ever happen to them. Elon is our one shot, TJ. Because he really is. He is a damn Icarus. And he loves flying close to the sun. He's a riverboat gambler, and he does not take the safe precautions to make sure that he is untouchable in the same way that the other ultra wealthy people do. In fact, most ultra wealthy people, you don't fucking know who they are because they're not dumb enough to try and play this game. Elon is like, he could get his just desserts, and I don't even know if it'll happen. But God, do I really, really want it to. And I don't want anything like, I don't want anyone to kill him. I don't want any like physical harm to befall him. I want him to get trapped in a social doom of his own creation and lose all of his money and everything and die a poor, sad man. That is what I want for Elon Musk. I don't think it will happen, but damn, I've never wished such harm on another person in that way as I do that guy, because it can happen, and I really want it to. Yeah,
asking for him losing all his money is asking a bit much. I think that I think with Elon, like what Elon being the one shot we have of watching someone fall from grace in the most hilarious fashion that we can think of, is that John's right. Elon Musk made a huge mistake when he presented himself as a public figure, where he couldn't stop opening his mouth. It's better to just live off the legend. Like before I had even seen a picture of Elon Musk, I saw articles talk about how this guy is the smartest man in the world. And the first time I started questioning Elon Musk was when I saw an article come out that said Elon Musk says there's a greater than 50% chance we live in a simulation. And I was like, how the fuck would he know? Like, what would he know about us living in a simulation more than anybody else? What a dumbass thing. That was before the politics. I was like, okay, there's some with this guy. But anyway, with Musk, he put himself out to the public. He took a side politically that was it's not like he's just a regular Republican, right? Like if Elon Musk is out there and he sounded like just your average rich billionaire, or even like Mark Zuckerberg, like he wouldn't have these reactions to him. But the fact that he goes off and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna tweet this article about how Jewish people are trying to corrupt the nation, and that maybe white people are being genocided, and I'm gonna platform a bunch of Nazis. That's not going to be cool for a very long time. Like the pendulum's going to swing with the public direction that way, or the public zeitgeist, and he's going to be kind of like separated from polite society. That's I think, and that's going to be a good enough punishment. Like I think he's still going to have money. His fraudulent schemes are going to collapse pretty soon with Tesla. He'll still have plenty of money, but he will be looked on as a figure of derision when he could have just hidden in the background and donated to all these people perfectly fine.
Yeah, and a couple comments here that I wanted to address. First of all, Colby's agreeing. The father of the guy who owns Paramount is the second richest guy in the world. I'm sure neither of you know his name. I don't.
No clue.
Completely correct. And that answers the question of Ron Teber, Pro and Tibber, whatever your name is. Why aren't billionaires ever nice and happy? That's the thing. The ones you know about are not, because the ones you know about are not content with their lavish life and billions. They require you to love them in order to be happy. And that's why you see the Elons of the world. That's why Mark Zuckerberg, like, he tried his whole fucking, like, I'm going to run for president and influence millions arc. And he was clearly miserable and not good at it. The moment he was just like, well, I'm going to just start like doing jujitsu and windsurfing with a bunch of fucking sunscreen all over my body and yada, yada, yada. Like, he looks much happier now, guys. Like, the ones that fuck off and you don't know who they are, I bet you they're actually really fucking kind people. Some of the nicest, now I don't know any billionaires, but not true. I mostly don't know any billionaires, but the nicest fucking people I know, a lot of them are super fucking rich. They're rich as shit. They're incredibly nice because they can be, because they don't have a fucking care in the world. They're rich as shit. They're set. Their families, their generations past them are going to be perfectly okay in life, and so they can afford to be the nicest people. You know, typically the decently wealthy tend to be pretty nice, happy people because they don't have these fucking demons. But Elon Musk has demons, guys. He has many demons. And white supremacy is one of them. It's hard to be a happy white supremacist. I've never seen a happy white supremacist. I beg you to try and show me one that you feel is a genuinely happy person, a Mr. Rogers level happy person. I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's true about not seeing happy white supremacists. And it's because it's like with other elements of fascism, white supremacy only exists if you have an enemy. You cannot be a white supremacist if everybody is white. It can't happen, right? It doesn't work. So you're always going to find a way to try to make the in group smaller and smaller. And if you tell somebody that race is a social construct, it fucks with their brains, because to us, it's just like, oh, well, of course, race is natural. Like these classifications are just the way the world is. No, it's not. It's like what is the definition of a black person, right? It's not that the skin color alone is not good enough. It's not going to work. And honestly, there's like 4 colors that people come in. We have dozens of races, so we all know it's not just color and everything. But with white supremacy, the concept that we have of whiteness existing as a category of human being is more recent than you guys would guess. It goes back to, I want to say the 1400s, something like that. And invented by the Portuguese of all people, which I find to be super funny because when I think white people, it'll be a long time before I get to Portuguese. Like they barely make the cut, man. So the fact that
they barely make the cut of people that I think about.
Right, like, but like in the white supremacy, death battle or whatever, the Portuguese are getting turned on mighty quick, right? Like they are not going to be the last one standing. No one's even going to consider that much. So yeah, Elon Musk is going to be miserable because of that, because there's always going to be an enemy that he has to find, and also because Musk, he's one of the best con artists around. I can't say he's the best because Donald Trump exists. Donald Trump is easily the best con artist I've ever seen. Elon Musk, though, no, you know what? I take it back. Elon Musk is the greatest con artist I've ever seen because I get why Trump's cons are successful. Trump has a very human element about him. He's like your id, like the most base, vile, lizard brain part of yourself is basically Donald Trump. There's a lot of checks and balances and measures and societal conditioning that tells you, oh, don't act like that. Trump doesn't. He just ignores them all. So I see how he can connect with people. Elon Musk doesn't really have. Elon Musk somehow still accomplished that or whatever. So he's got that going for him. But I secretly believe he doesn't believe he's earned this money. I think he's trying to find a way to justify. He has imposter syndrome of all things. Trying to say, I need to find a way to justify this. I need to be a great man, like people, the aristocracy who had to actually pick up a sword and conquer land and to manage an entire kingdom. Like they had to be good at their job. Elon Musk is just a rich guy now, so he forgoes noblesse oblige. He forgoes any type of decency. It's like, I'm going to try to be cool to the dumbest people on the planet, and unfortunately, it's kind of working. It's not going to last long, I don't believe.
Yeah, no. Who knows? I don't know. I hate them all. I agree with you. Elon Musk's con artistry is somehow greater because with Trump, I get it. Like I see the technique. Yeah. It's not. He's competing. What he did is he basically went from reality television and took the same skill set and applied it to politics, and it was just a total mismatch. Like occasionally when you see like an elite basketball player, like they become like the best wide receiver ever because they just have this skill set that you don't really see very often. Like it works that way for Donald Trump. For Elon, I don't know what his skill set is besides being rich. I feel like there's got to be a monkey's paw. Like I don't even know what could possibly be the case here because he doesn't seem to have any discernible skills at all.
Listen to the man talk. Listen to him talk and think, if an 8th grader was telling you why he was late for school, he talked like Elon Musk, like, okay, this guy's bullshitting. This guy's making it up. He's stumbling and stuttering over every word. He's not looking in the eye. He can't sit still. I don't buy this at all. But John, yeah, what you mentioned with Trump was pretty good too. Because I made a video a long time ago talking about, you ever, like when you play sports or something, or a video game, anything like that, against a human opponent, and you're about 5 minutes into the game, and you realize like, oh man, this other guy kind of sucks at this. He's just not very good. And it hits you like, oh, this is really bad. Like, I'm not having fun. I can't believe I'm going to win. I'm going to take the W, but it just feels weird. I can't believe how bad you are at this. That's how Donald Trump must have felt walking in to the Republican National Committee for the debates. He's just saying, like, I cannot believe how easy this is. I mean, coming from the world that he came from and then walking into these fucking Poindexters, these nerds, and just eviscerating them. And it's been easy ever since. Trump has not faced one Republican opponent that put up any type of resistance against him. He wasn't just absolutely steamrolled. So, yeah, I can't blame Donald Trump for doing what he's doing. I don't blame him at all. If I were like a malignant narcissist like Trump, why wouldn't I do it? Well, maybe because I'm lazy. I don't know, but I mean, I don't want to stay out of jail. I get it, but you're right. Got to give credit where credit's due with DJT there.
TJ, the wild thing is it's not even like he like, I don't know, it was like a weak division merchant. Like he came into the Republican Party at the height of the Mitch McConnell era. Like Mitch McConnell, one of the GOATs, one of the greatest people to ever manipulate American politics. I mean, he's an evil motherfucker, but he was so damn good at it. And Donald Trump came in like a bull in a china shop, and Mitch had no answers. He tried his darndest, TJ. He ended up quitting. Because there was nothing he could do to stop Donald Trump. That is how dominant Trump was. It was one of the greatest performers of all time. Unfortunately, to the worst ends imaginable. But you got to tip your cap at this point and just we got to ride it out. Like we're in ride it out territory of just like the Warriors, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant era, where it's just like, well, maybe in 3 or 4 years we can compete, but until then, there's nothing we can do about it because we're fucked.
It's funny to think about this, that in a weird way, I'm kind of happy that I get to live through the Trump era. In a weird way, I kind of am.
Very weird. It must be a very weird way, TJ, because that's not how I feel at all.
Well, I mean, you see stuff like you read a history book and find out that prior to World War I, the majority of deaths on the battlefield, like during armed human conflict, came from disease. It didn't come from humans killing each other. It came from people catching diseases and dying and not having proper medical technology. And like in my Army field sanitation class, we were going over, hey, when you're constructing your sites, you're setting up, make sure that you have, like, if there's a water source, like a river's flowing this way, that you set up the latrines upstream or downstream so that you don't get the pollutants coming into the water. I was like, well, of course, I don't want to get sick, get shit water. That's what people did for tens of thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years. People were like, yeah, I'm sure the water the guy's pissed in up the river is going to be perfectly fine to drink. Why would it hurt me? I look back on that and says, I don't get it. I can't imagine. It doesn't seem real to me. If I was born 30 years later and I'm reading and watching video about Trump, like, this does not seem real. There's no fucking way. I would think it was a weird conspiracy. They got me to believe that, tarnish the great name of this nation or whatever. That, yeah, we were actually dumb enough to put this guy in office. Listen to all the shit that he's saying, and tens of millions of people are perfectly fine with it. I don't know. I guess if I had to be alive, I was like, yep, I guess it's true. It's kind of sad to see, but I bore witness.
TJ, you're right. The one silver lining of living through this era is that it puts history into perspective. Like, it really genuinely, like, every time I read a history book growing up and I was like, how could you be so dumb? How, like, everyone, the famous example of the Nazis is like, how did everyone fall for this? Motherfucker, the Nazis were way better at this. They were Goebbels was a far more talented fucking propagandist than the Trump administration is. And doesn't matter. Of course they fell for it. If we today, with all of the information and technology at our fingertips, at our disposal, having this happen to people who are alive still now, who can tell us, hey guys, look at this, it's the same fucking thing, and people are like, oh no, we're gonna go with this guy. I see it. Every fucked up decision humanity has ever made makes sense to me now. I'm no longer in wonder of our species stupidity. I am now only in wonder of how we've made it this far. It's truly unbelievable. But you're right. Now the rest of my life, I don't have to wonder these things anymore. I understand the depth of human stupidity. Just unbelievable.
So also, the Nazis, like, you look back at, then it's like, oh, wow, they were willing to turn their country over to this tyrannical, dictatorial, fascist leader and, rubber stamp the murder of millions of people just because of their ethnicity. And say, the Nazis, like, what pushed the Nazis to do that? Far worse than what Americans put. I'm not in any way justifying. There's no excuse for what the Nazis did. But when you compare it to the United States, what we sold out fascism for, like, they had just lost World War I. They had, like, Prussia and the Germans have been the greatest warriors in Europe for hundreds of years, dating back to the Holy Roman Empire. They literally thought themselves Supermen. And like, how did we lose a war? That's not something we do. And now your economy is trash. You're not allowed to have a
carrying
military.
around wheelbarrows of cash because it's so worthless because of hyperinflation. Like, and they have no access to information or anything. Like, yeah, no, I get it. I'm not justifying it, but I understand how that population could be manipulated.
Us? Like, what you? Hillary Clinton scared you so much that you needed to vote for Donald. Really? I mean, normal ass was like, wow, that Hillary Clinton's terrible. Can you imagine what she would do if she was president? And then I don't know. And then to this day, they still whine and bitch. It's like, man, remember when I couldn't get a haircut during COVID? That's why I'm voting for Trump. Like, while Trump was president, it doesn't make any sense. But one thing I want to touch on, or at the end here, is that you said that that you also wonder, like, oh, it's actually, you're not going to be too mad at people anymore. It's actually surprising humans have made it this far. It really is. I had this thought a lot too, that if you think about it, the human brain, like the fact that we have to talk about economies that are in trillions of dollars, right? Hell, even your like a state or a city, a small town economy. Your brain is not designed to count 100,000 of anything. You can't imagine what that number actually looks like, right? It's like a concept, but you can't think of it like a physical terms. And if you really think about the fact that our brains were designed to pick berries and eat root vegetables in the African savannah, hiding from lions. That is what we were made to do. The fact that we, have built automobiles and cities and bridges and that we've gone to the goddamn moon. Listen, I guess it's all gravy. If I try to think about it that way, that we really should be just living in the forest somewhere with no clothes and that we've made it this far. All right, I guess voting for Donald Trump. What hurts is that I know we're capable of so much more. We're capable of so much fucking more, man, that we are the inheritance of an amazing legacy. We are an astoundingly intelligent mammalian species that is, individually, we're not all that impressive, but we work together. We can do pretty much anything we want. And we're like, yeah, we're electing the orange guy who makes memes of him shitting on people. That's going to be who's in charge right now. We're capable of a lot more. I do have to admit we have accomplished quite a bit over the millennia.
It isn't like you do have to look at the height of human accomplishment, be in awe, and then also the depth of human despair, and also be in equal awe. It's really an incredible scale that we have. Before we wrap things up, TJ, we were talking about some movies earlier, and Colby said, "Oh, don't get John started on analyzing movies." There is one movie I do want to have a film club on. I don't know if you have seen it, but have you watched the Wicked movies?
Oh, that's so funny. I did a video about Wicked the other day. No, I've never seen Wicked. I keep getting ads for it. They're like, hey, I don't, why? I watched The Wizard of Oz like everybody else. I watched Return to Oz when I was a kid. It scared the shit out of me, but I've never seen Wicked, or I don't even know what it's about, honestly. So no, I haven't. The Wicked movies, plural? Like what?
So it's a play originally. Well, I guess it's a book originally, then it was a play. But it's a two-part play, so they made two movies, which actually like they should do because it's way too fucking long to fit into one movie. But I reckon if I'll do it. I'll do a fucking episode on it if you want, because you can watch the first one on HBO and you can go to theaters and watch it. But it is highly political. It's a very, very fucking political film.
Yeah,
it is about a genocide, TJ. And I don't put that lightly. Like it's like, oh, it's thematically about it's the plot of the movie surrounds a genocide. And so
is the movie pro or anti-genocide?
That's what I'd like to talk about, TJ, because it paints a very frustrating picture of the genocide. But yeah, and that's what I want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it. So we'll talk. We should do more fucking film content because again, I don't
why
know how
not,
much
right?
more
That was exactly right. Yeah,
we should just do more Left Wing Film Club. Let us know in the comments if you want us to review anything. Just let us go at it because goddamn, I don't want to try to talk about this fucking administration any more than I have to. And I'm sure there will be something crying in my ears that I'm going to want to talk about on Thursday. But
We'll come back.
we'll be here
to
again
all
on
this-
Thursday, 6:35 EST. I do have a guest lined up potentially, which me and TJ will talk about.
Great.
But we will see the guys then.
Later, guys. All right. Oh, no, I can't.